The New Force put out a statement yesterday, the 20th of November 2023. It's a press release, and I'll read for you what it says. It says, our attention has been drawn to certain images circulated by one Sam Ankra on social media, fraudulently purporting to be the originator of the viral The Man in the Mask campaign created by the New Force. We have also noticed subsequent media publications commissioned by him projecting himself to be the man in the mask. We wish to state categorically that the said Sam Ankra has no connection to the creative context and the concept, design, and inventive process that developed the Man in the Mask campaign. We are disappointed that Mr. Sam Ankra has sought to deliberately exploit the ingenuity of young Ghanaians and co-opted their vision and creativity to project dubious political ambitions. We consider his conduct to be reprehensible and evidence of a lack of credibility that undermines him as a person, as well as someone capable of leading a new political vision for a country that is in need of a clean break from the kind of dirty politics we witness on a daily basis. On the advice of our lawyers, our team will be filing a complaint with the Electoral Commission against him for violating Section 6 of the Section 6 of the Political Parties Act 2000, Act 526. His conduct constitutes an offense under the Act and makes him liable to be punished with a term of imprisonment not exceeding 2 years. Further, we reserve our right to consider civil action against him for the infringement of our intellectual property rights, including our rights over the original artistic and creative work in the graphics, images, and original text, and the symbols, logos, and distinctive visual layout or presentation. We demand that he immediately cease and desist from any further use and reproduction, distribution, or modification of our intellectual property. We request further that he deletes the images on all his platforms and that he put up an appropriate statement apologizing for the infringement immediately. Signed, The New Force. And we will get onto the phone line and speak with one of the originators. But there's also a response that I quickly like to share with you regarding this matter. And this one says, No Max Promises campaign sets the record straight on false claims. That's from Sam Ankra for president. It says, following the No Max Promises campaign led by myself, Dr. Sam Ankra, a faceless person or group of persons has since launched baseless, malicious attacks on the person and reputation of myself, claiming, among others, that I have misappropriated their intellectual property rights. I firmly, unequivocally, and categorically deny all those false claims, allegations, and assertions by the persons or group without a face. At no point during my campaign have I purported to expressly claim to be the originator of the so-called Man in the Mask campaign. Neither has he claimed anywhere that he is the Man in the Mask. At the time of launching his campaign and disseminating his political messages, I refute the existence of illegal or natural persons by the name The Man in the Mask and hashtag The New Force. Furthermore, I have no knowledge of any intellectual property rights vested in that person or person's name. On that note, I urge the persons to retract with immediate effect the defamatory press release which is circulating all over the world. The key point and thrust of my message is the exposure of political gimmicks and falsehoods aimed at deceiving the Ghanaian citizenry, the unmasking, as it were, of political con artists. The No Max Promises campaign is a transformative journey towards transparent and accountable leadership and driving philosophy behind my bid for the high office of the presidency of Ghana as an independent candidate. It is built on a commitment to reshape the political landscape for the betterment of Ghana through principles of truth, transparency, accountability, and civic responsibilities. At the heart of the No Max Promises campaign is a mission to unveil the truth behind political facade and a call to citizens to actively engage in the political process. It encourages them to voice their concerns and actively participate in holding leaders and political hopefuls accountable for their promises. I, a seasoned economist and investment banker, led this movement with the belief that active civic responsibility and engagement are fundamental to a thriving democracy. Furthermore, no Marx promises signifies a rejection of unfulfilled political comments and doubles down on a commitment to prioritizing the needs of the people and bridging the truth deficit between citizens and leaders. The symbolic depiction of the unmasking represents a rejection of the historical narrative of veiled intentions in the past and present governments. It is a representation of the need to unveil the true faces of leaders and political hopefuls alike in order to hold them accountable for their commitments. It is also worth noting that as far as intellectual property claims are concerned, the mask used in the campaign is a stock image generated by artificial intelligence and available in the public domain. In response to the threat of legal action, we would like to emphasize that I, Dr. Sam Ankrah, am well within my rights to express my views on the state of politics in Ghana and to launch a legitimate counter-campaign in response to the position of other political hopefuls. This is a fundamental facet of the democracy that holds our great nation together. The No Marx Promises campaign is an attempt to infringe on any. It's not an attempt to infringe on any intellectual property rights, but rather a call for transparency and accountability in leadership. A principle all political movements should proudly stand united in. As we enter the 2024 political season, the No Marx Promises campaign extends an invitation to all citizens and political stakeholders to engage in open and honest dialogue and to unite under the philosophy of No Marx Promises. Together, we must work together towards reshaping the political landscape for a future where leaders are unafraid to show their true faces and subsequently deliver on their comments or commitments. On this note, I urge Ghanaians to learn more about Dr. Sam Ankrah, my policies, especially my youth policy, and how I intend to end the economic hardship, the endemic and pervasive corruption, the social inequities or inequalities, and the lack of rule of law and stability in general. Signed by Dr. Candace Baker. He's the head of communications, presidential candidate office, Sam Ankrah. Sam Ankrah has joined us on the line. Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for your time. Dr. Candace, thank you. Dr. Candace, good morning.
Good morning, Doc.
Great. Doc, I want to quickly ask you, why do you want to start off your campaign on, as they say in Chi, a Chima Minchi note?
Sorry. This is Dr. Candace Baker. This is rather not Dr. Sam Ankrah. But what I can say is that these kinds of allegations have come out very clearly to try to tarnish what we have already built. This is not the launching of our campaign. Our campaign started months ago. And for these things to now come out and to assume that everyone in Ghana is aware of this basically signboard showing a man in a mask, and that we have such limited creative capacity and such limited time and effort and limited talent in our own team to pick up an image on a signboard and to use it for our major campaign slogan is a bit bizarre to me. We have some of the greatest talent in the country in our team. And these are ideas that we have come out with on our own. The Big Ten has always been the head of our campaign, and it still remains the head of our campaign. And as Dr. Sam explained, and as I explained in our counter to this claim, this is, sorry.
Go ahead, please.
This is just something that is very unusual to be claimed as a theft of intellectual property. When Dr. Sam saw this signboard, it was very clear that it's just another slogan. It's someone else coming out, hiding behind, as it were, a mask to make any kind of false promises. Isn't that what we keep repeating in our politics? Isn't that what we're saying we're tired of? Is these false promises, people hiding behind other people, hiding behind masks. That's what we're saying we're tired of. Year after year after year after year. This is where we have come to now. The economy we are in now, the challenges that we face now, are because of these kinds of mass promises. And that is the intention of this entire image of the unmasked promises. It has nothing to do with the third force. We have never claimed any affiliation with them. And to be very honest, up until recently, we had no idea who these people were or what this movement was, because it's not, a mass nationwide movement that would capture our attention.
Between Dr. Sam Ankrah and the third force, who first used the mask, as it were, publicly, so to grab the attention of the people of the Republic?
As for that one, I really don't know. This is not something that we have, invested a lot of time into. This is, in terms of political terrain, as far as we know, we are using this to unmask our campaign. These third force signboards, they haven't indicated that they are running as any kind of presidential candidate. There hasn't been a political message tied behind what they are doing.
So I want to understand something. The campaign that we saw on the billboard says the new force, and then there was just a man in a mask. Your campaign team from Dr. Sam Ankrah says no masked promises, and then we see the mask taking off the face of the man and is right on the chest of Dr. Sam Ankrah, and a photo of him in a blue suit with a white shirt, if you will. It means that there was a masking, and then you had to do the unmasking. And I'm asking you, at what time did the masking happen, and at what time did the unmasking happen? We should set the record straight on that, don't you think?
Sure. The masking of Ghana's politics has always existed. Haven't we always had these false promises? Isn't that why our roads get paved and tarred right before elections? These are all masked promises, so they have always been masked.
They are threatening legal action against you and your candidate. Will you survive?
Yes, we will absolutely survive. As it was said, there is no documentation that they own this mask. As we also said, this is a stock image. This is something anyone can go to Google or any of these websites and get this exact same image for free. And it is not an image that can be owned by an individual. This is a traditional African culture mask. So if we're going to say an individual owns it, I think that's quite insulting to the entire culture that it comes from.
So now there's controversy already, even before we get into the public domain to be accepted by the voting public. Is that a way to go? Is that a way to begin?
In what context, please?
Well, the context is that you are claiming on one hand that the mask thing doesn't belong to the new force. They're also claiming that it belongs to them, intellectual property and all of that. And I'm asking, don't you think that will, if you have issues to raise and alternatives to present, that will take the shine off those issues and alternatives, and then the people will focus on the mask, the controversy around the mask, who first used the mask and who didn't use it, and who owns the intellectual property and who is in court with who and all of that. Don't you think so?
No, I don't think so. I believe Ghanaians are a bit more invested in their politics at this point in time, and I believe Ghanaians are far more intelligent than to get caught up in the drama and, the excitement of lawsuits. I think we're at a point in time where people can't afford to eat. So as exciting as it may be to look at who's in court with who and for what reason, we have very real issues to deal with. Very, very real issues on the ground. And what we have experienced in our rounds about Ghana is that people are very tired of the games and the antics of politics. They are very tired of, exactly as you've said, who's in court with who and for what reason and who took this and who took that. We've had our own campaign slogan stolen. And this is something that has been in the media. NDC has blatantly stolen some of our campaign slogans. And we didn't push it in court. We didn't want to try to rock shoulders with anyone because there's a bigger issue at hand. It's not about slogans. It's not about images. It's not about intellectual property. It's about the real issues that we are facing. People cannot survive. People cannot afford to live. That is the issue.
I'm looking at an artwork, and you can confirm if it belongs to your candidate or not. And it's a green and yellow based artwork with the photo of Dr. Sam Ankrah in a blue-black suit, a light blue shirt, and a red tie with a red pocket square. And it says, "We are tired of all the talk, but no actions from our leaders." The symbol or insignia I see here is a circle, right, with a yellow and green background. And then there's a cowrie, and atop that you have Afa 3 times. Is that your artwork?
Yes, that is our artwork.
How is that synonymous or a look-alike of the mask that you now claim doesn't belong to anybody? I want you to help me.
The mask is not a visual representative of our campaign office, as it were, or as the movement of AFA. The cowrie shell that you see, and the yellow and the green and the black, that is representative of a movement called AFA, which is why you see AFA. And so his individual campaign of unmasked promises very well needs an image that goes with what he is saying. A cowrie shell doesn't communicate that. There's a reason the cowrie shell was used for other media. There's a reason it was used, and there's a reason that it is for AFA. The symbolism behind that stands on its own. Mm-hmm. But if we're talking about unmasked promises, at this point in his campaign, it goes without saying that it would require a graphic and an image that suits the message he's putting out at this time. Give us 6 months, and there will be other things that we are also going to be saying, and those will also come with different images.
So, which is going to be, if the Electoral Commission decides to give you a clean bill of health to contest in the 2024 elections, because I'm sure that's the intention of Dr. Sam Ankrah, what will be your emblem on the ballot sheet?
That is something that will be released at the end of this month, on November 20, I believe actually this coming Saturday. These are things that will be formally released this coming Saturday on all of our media houses.
So the cowrie will not be present, or it will be present?
The cowrie will be present.
And the green and yellow will also feature?
Yes.
And the mask?
That's to be determined. The mask is not an official symbol of his candidacy. And I think that's where there is a confusion, right, where the third force has chosen that emblem to represent their organization or, whatever they actually are, because these are still people that we don't know the face behind. We don't know, are you an NGO? Are you a political party? Are you a social media group? What are you? We don't know. They have chosen that as their primary emblem. We have not. That is something that we used in some of our imagery to portray the message that we are bringing across, which is exactly fitting, unmasked promises.
Have you bothered to find out who is behind the third force, the new force, sorry?
We've asked, and we have not been given answers. We have asked for them to reveal who they are. They have not done so.
You asked through which medium?
The same medium that we were delivered this letter. The letter that I'm sure you've seen by now.
Right. I read in full.
Yes.
I see. All right. I wish you all the best, Dr. Candace Baker, and she's a spokesperson for the Dr. Sam Ankrah campaign, Unmasked, or what was it? Unmasked promises. Yeah.
No masked promises.
Masked promises.
But what I'm saying is that if you are not too sure whether it's a political party or an NGO, why are you talking about them coming into the political space to make masked promises?
Or maybe they could be a civil society organization with political interests.
When do you come and make masked promises for what?
Charlie,
let's be. They know that They know that it's a political party. So you can't say whether we don't know whether it's an NGO and there's that. You are going to take the same symbol and you're telling us that it's on the internet. So your cowrie and your yellow and green the artwork that you've done, I can also take it and say because it's on the internet, I'm going to use the. Please,
can we
should come again?
Charlie, let's form something.
Well, we formed already. Yeah. Sunrise at Danko. 92.7
at Danko team.
Your urban lifestyle radio. I mean, when is election time? You will see somebody came and announced that he wrote his manifesto in an exercise book. And when I come, all those people, those in the media, the visual and the audio visual, no. People that have come before. Dr. Sam Ankra have been following solid economics. If he wants to come, he should come properly and not go and be fighting with somebody's mask. And he has put it on his chest. When you have your carry on the table, how would you push your emblem?
It's a serious matter.
When you know here when somebody came and said, when I come, all those people, no? In the media, the visual and the audio visual,
we'll sort them out.
When I come,
go to them, aid, and ask them about what they learn into their future.
Okay.
The people tell me that they learn this or they learn that, so that once I am assembly member, I'll concentrate to go to the municipal assembly to go and tell them that this and that and this and that, which is bad in my constituency or electoral area, so that they should manage it for me.
Does that mean that the district, the assembly member at the moment is not doing any of these?
Anything.
Who's the current assembly member?
It's Honorable Idrisu Mohammed.
Idrisu Mohammed, and he's not doing anything?
He's not doing anything.
Nothing at all?
Nothing at all, I'm telling you. Only just make himself. Or only just rich himself.
But how much money is available for an assembly member for him to become rich? Because if you say he's enriching himself, it means that there is so much money at the disposal of an assembly member.
Yeah.
Is there?
Of course.
Yeah?
He went to the ministries, he went to the MP's office, he went to the MC office, even Vice President's office, and Ministry of Zongo for Inner Development City, and get some achievement. When he come back, he didn't...
How do you know this? How do you know that he went to all of these offices and he was given money? How do you know?
We have some unity committees.
Okay.
Which is my unity committees around the area, which is survey the area with them, with the current assemblyman.
Oh my God. Honorable Aponchi. Honorable Aponchi.
I mean, it's always interesting to have this political season.
I'm coming.
Said that.
Fundamental human rights.
Right.
Of course, when you read it up to Article 28.3, you see it.
That the state should provide breakfast
for the youth.
For the
like Molokoko and Lipton tea. That Molokoko, that Mole, you can buy Mole 20 C. He can reach Jesu. You can reach Jesu.
I'm sorry.
You see, you can.
I'm sorry.
And then Lipton, you can provide it at 2. That one box, that Lipton, if you provide it, like it is. You can enjoy it.
Right.
You can reach Jensu. Jensu.
What's Jesus?
As I say, Jensu, like pine, which is put some cocoa there.
I'm sorry, I can't help myself. I'm sorry.
Do you know Jensu? You didn't know Jensu?
No.
Jensu, that.
Teacher says that you should be given breakfast every morning.
Of course.
Which part of the Constitution said that?
Fundamental human rights.
Right.
Of course, when you read it up to Article 24, 28, 3. You see it.
That
They should
the
have
state
give
should provide breakfast
breakfast for the youth,
for the.
like molokoko and Lipton tea. That molokoko, that mole, you can buy mole 20 cedis. He can reach Jesus.
Funky, funky, funky.
Oh my God. Look, it's 9:40. Let's speak about 4 calls and then we'll get into womenpreneur. Molly Coco.
FM Sunrise.
055-924-2717, 055-924-2717, and 055-691-0154, 055-924-2717, and 055-691-0154. It's about 4 calls and then we get into womenpreneur.
FM Sunrise.
Good morning.
Good morning. No,
Yes, sir. Manje Jolabu today.
How are you? I am Molly Coco.
Molly Coco.
Welcome. Johnny, you know something? We know that as a sack from the MPP. Way back in Lincoln, our teacher used to say that you want to fail, so I'll help you fail. That is what they are going to do to the MPP. You know, if you are playing a game that involves numbers, sometimes you have to sit back and then you think properly before you come out to, bring a sanction. Those people have people who are also backing them or following them. And when they are going, they'll go with them.
Right.
Even -1, it goes to, to do something. So if really the MPP wants to win the election, which I doubt, then they should sit back and, make proper, analysis before they start giving out letters. Because like you said, if Johnny is going because of sack and Uriah is, his fans, then definitely you have to give me another letterhead of sacking.
I hear you. Thank you. Good morning. Oh, sorry about that. 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. If you haven't already called, 053-1100-927 or 053-2200-927 for your 3FM All White Party table. Please do that now. 053-1100-927 and 053-2200-927. 053-1100-927 and 053-2200-927. Call those magic numbers, get a table. Let's party on the 28th. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Johnny.
Senior Pia, how are you, sir?
Oh, Charlie, I'm good. And my regards to Willie.
Yes, sir.
Good
Yes, sir.
body.
Yes, I did for you.
In fact, you see, the center cannot go. You know, the trap that President Akufo-Addo regime set is the same trap that actually breaking the center of MPP. We knew this long ago that there was some agenda set. But MPP accepted the trap. And today that trap is playing against them. They should know that's what's called the law come. Exactly. Because I have been saying that for the MPP part, not today, before all this is started, that MPP is going to collapse. Because we knew it. Some of us, not me alone, we knew it. Since 2016. How they managed even to win election. But who is going to say? Who dare you? So, Johnny, what has happened should happen. Some of us and they should come and take the power. Charlie, good morning.
Morning, sir. Thank you. And that's 055-924-2717. 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. 055-691-0154.
Like hotels.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Johnny.
Hey, Onapo.
Hey, Johnny.
What's up, bro?
So cool. Johnny, what do you know?
Dabi.
Benny, gas proof at a year, you are bluff for a Nipadima class 1 bluff. Yeah, no, no, we're class 1 bluff. Boy, you know, bluff, really.
I mean, no easy.
Anyway,
Oh, boy.
MPP, as for MPP, I don't know, but I think what they did in was it before 2016 election by sacking people and then they won the election.
Right.
Probably they think it's the same thing that's going to happen now. Elijah Martin alone is taking a chunk. And these people you mentioned, their name, Washington, we all know that line.
Right.
So I think they should think about it. Frankly speaking, party is about numbers. So sacking people for me is not the best. Whatever it is, they can sit and then talk about it.
Right.
I mean, we cannot not be of this. Elijah Martin is out, but there are people in MPP who will still vote for him. So there's nothing they can do.
Okay.
About it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Grateful. And by popular request, before we go for woman premier.
Constitution says that you should be given breakfast every morning.
Of course.
Which part of the Constitution said that?
Fundamental human rights.
Right.
Of course, when you read it up to Article 24, 28.3, you see it.
That
They should
the
have
state
give
should provide breakfast
breakfast for the youth,
for the
like Molokoko and Lipton tea. That Molokoko, that Mole, you can buy Mole 20 cedis. He can reach Jesus. He can reach Jesus.
I'm sorry.
You see, you can.
I'm sorry.
And then Lipton, you can provide it.